In the F1 arena, even the most difficult campaign dealings, Mercedes managed to come to conquer the top spot. But recently, there have been talks about a mistake they made that they might regret later. Let's find out what it's about. It was one of the hardest campaigns for Mercedes as they grappled with several issues with the W13. However, when it came to power unit reliability, the team was one of the best in the field. Out of the 22 races, both Lewis Hamilton and George Russell only failed to finish one race apiece. Russell in Silverstone for abandoning his car after the big first lap crash with Zhou Guanyu and Hamilton in Abu Dhabi with a hydraulic issue. During the years of retirement since the start of the hybrid era, Mercedes has been able to keep on top of reliability. But as this strategy came at the price of performance to rivals, an engine freeze has been in place since the beginning of 2022 to cut costs, with very few parts that can be changed until 2026. Only changes to improve reliability can be made to F1 power units during the period. Alpine had suffered from poor reliability during the hybrid era, with Fernando Alonso getting his fair share this year in what he believes cost him 60 points over the course of the season. The team has admitted that it sacrificed reliability over performance, something that Executive Director Bruno Famin recently explained was the plan at Renault Alpine to ensure they were competitive. "We made changes to the engine very shortly before the new season. We took risks, but the strategy was clear. We had to get back into contention with the engine," he said. "With the engine freeze, our strategy was to do something with our performance. We still have the possibility to solve reliability issues, and that strategy was good even though we had some problems. But the engine itself had no major issues." Despite numerous retirements throughout the season, Alfie managed to beat McLaren as the best of the rest of the team to fourth place in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari has improved engine performance significantly since the middling letdown in 2020, while Honda has moved on from its early days with McLaren by delivering 2 world championships, with Red Bull, Mercedes consistently being at the front of the benchmark for dependability. But in 2022, they were hindered by the new W13's aerodynamic drag and the purpose of high-speed corners. The power unit remained among the fastest, as proven by Alex Albon's 10th place performance at the Belgian Grand Prix. The rattle on speed traps recording his car reaching 314.4 kilometers per hour. A decent package was constructed by Ferrari to finish the race ahead of them on most courses, and it's going to be better when they are willing to launch a new engine with additional 30 brake horsepower. Hamilton and Russell are hoping to uncover something before the year 2026, but Mercedes should give their word that these changes would stay within the rules to avoid penalties. While there would be talks based on how the rules got changed to ride heights will affect them. Mercedes still has the advantage in remaining in the top 3 after their resurgence towards the end of this year. Mercedes enjoyed a late surge at the end of 2022 season after starting 2022 in one of the lowest positions since dominating F1 at the start of the hybrid era. This is partly because they were able to resolve the flaws that plagued the W13 throughout the season. But a rule change coming next year may have an even greater impact. And this rule change has been implemented after the ongoing comments made on the regulation changes by none other than Mercedes itself. They made an important mistake, which resulted in the ongoing battle against the regulations and porpoising the FIA extending the outside floor edges NY 15 mm with no longer than 15 mm deflection in the vertical direction. When a force of 250 Newton is exerted in the downward direction and no longer than a 5 mm vertical deflection when a 215 Newton load is applied in an upward direction. The main aim is to put a limit to the team's ability to run the edge of the floor closer to the surface of the tracks, thereby resulting in improved aerial performance. Initially, the FIA proposed a 25 mm increase, but after opposition from some of the teams, they reduced it to 15 mm. As per Karen Chantic, a Sky Sports F1 commentator, this change could be detrimental to Mercedes, who have never run a high ride high on their cars. Does a change in the regulations in the coming year, which is small but not insignificant in terms of the ride heights, the cars have all got to run at a higher ride height, he said in the end of a season review. Which is the one team historically that hasn't run a high ride height. The brainpower that won all those world championships is still there in Brackley and Brixworth, but I don't think it is easy to fix as you might think. It seems like Mercedes recorded 2 big mistakes in the last year, not putting enough effort into the engine and picking a fight with the big boss, which caused rule changes that could cost Mercedes big time. What do you think? Will Mercedes be able to overcome these changes and win more than one race next season? We want to hear about your opinion, even if you are a fan of Mercedes or not. Certainly one person sure thinks that Mercedes will make a comeback at the front in the coming year, and that is Charlotte Leclerc. Even though Mercedes' 8-year of Constructors' Championship victories came to an end this year as the team struggled to take over to the latest technical regulations, a poor voicing issue hampered the team during preseason testing before deeper issues with the W13 car surfaced earlier in the season, placing it far behind Ferrari and Red Bull in the battle for first place. However, Mercedes had able to improve the car in a way that allowed it to correct many of the issues and regain performance, allowing it to win the season's penultimate race in Brazil. The resurgence has given Charles Leclerc confidence that Mercedes will be back at front of the field in the next year, setting up possible 3-team battle with Red Bull. "I do believe that Mercedes will be in the right," said Leclerc, who scored 3 wins this year for Ferrari. Another team. "I have not seen signs yet, maybe to believe that another team will join the top 3. Mercedes will definitely be there next year with a very strong car. We have seen how much they have improved from the first race to the last race. I think they come to know what they did wrong, and this is usually the sign that it'll go better, so hopefully it'll be a 3-team fight next year." It's sure that Leclerc's kind words would not help Mercedes, though, so they took matters into their own hands, and they recently appointed Mick Schumacher as their reserve driver. Even though Mick has not been able to perform at a level as his father did, he still is worth a lot of silver arrows. Lewis Hamilton thinks that Mercedes made a good decision by making him the reserve driver, as he is good at doing a lot of simulator work. Mick was forced to drop his work at the Haas F1 and has found work with the German team. Britain expects Schumacher to make a considerable contribution to the 2023 performance, even though Hamilton puts the collaboration in perspective. You don't work so closely with reserve drivers these days. It is a lot of simulator work and not like before. Even though we remain teammates, he told us to build according to Hamilton. The young driver will fit well with the team. He therefore hopes Schumacher can follow up on his development appropriately. I guess it's always nice to receive a compliment from one of the best drivers we have ever seen. The German news outlet also chose to inquire about Hamilton's future. The 7-time world champion is under contract until the end of the upcoming racing season, which means he could be working on the final season in Formula One. However, Hamilton and Mercedes have both told their sides to continue with each other much longer, even though substantive talks are still awaited. Hamilton does not expect it to last long. Do you think what Mercedes did was the right thing to do? Would they regret it later? Let us know your opinions in the comments down below. If you liked this video, then make sure to put a like, share, and also subscribe to our channel. For more videos like these, click on the links you see on the screen. We'll come back again soon with more content. Until then, goodbye.